Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am actually creating a card. Now this card is going to be super similar to one that I took a class for at Creativation with Darkroom Door, but really wanted to make this card today, so let's see what I can do. The first thing I did was pull out my Misty stamping tool. Now this is a rubber stamp, and if you guys have never had the pleasure of working with Darkroom Door stamps, you are missing out. Their rubber stamps just feel so good and it's so nice. And I asked them at Creativation, like, what makes their rubber so good? And they actually source a really good rubber that's just soft and smooth and just feels good to stamp with. Now I went ahead and stamped this twice. That's the beauty of a Misty stamping tool. However, I did not have the paper in the same exact position, like I moved it, and that was a rookie mistake. So I went ahead and stamped it again on the back side. Nobody's gonna see the back side of that paper, so we don't have to like share it or anything like that. Double stamped it again just to give it a little bit more of a cleaner coverage, because you know my inking was not all the way up. Now this bad boy was introduced to me by Darkroom Door as well. It is a marking crayon and it is in white, and you just color a little bit where you don't want your ink to be really like prominent on your page. So with this, I did not really do it dark. I did it light so that there is some show through on the page. So you know, if you take a crayon and you scribble on a page, it doesn't have complete coverage. But if you scribble hard and multiple times on that page, you're going to go ahead and get complete coverage on that. And I did not do complete coverage on this card, and you'll see what I mean when I start putting my Distress Oxides on. So the Distress Oxides do kind of tone down that black. As you can see, it's a little bit of a creamier, a milkier black than when the oxides are not on top of it. Now, I did not choose these colors for their blendability. I just chose these colors because I like them, and the person I'm making the card for, I am sure will like them as well. Now, the colors I used were Bundled Sage, Worn Lipstick, and Shaded Lilac. And as you can see, that white is not a crisp white either. It is more of a creamy, milky white with the colors over top of it. And that's what I meant when the crayons, you know, when you just scribble on a crayon instead of like really scribbling on the crayon. Now I'm adding another layer of ink on top of this. I'm careful to make sure that my paper is in the correct spot. And the only thing that does is kind of takes away a little bit of that milkiness where the Distress Oxide was, and kind of brightens the black up a little bit. Now, I wasn't sure what I was doing. I was looking for something. Didn't know what I wanted to do with this card. I knew I wanted something to happen with the oxides, just a little bit of something. So I have a little spritzer. It's a mini mister, and it has some sparkly watercolor from Tailored Expressions in it, and just a little bit of water. So I just sprayed that on, and it is a fine mist. And then I used my heat tool so that I could just get it nice and taken care of. And then, of course, I just went on the back a little bit as well, just in case for some reason that water went through this nice thick cardstock from Gina K. Now, I decided to go ahead and ink it one more time, because can you ever really have too many layers of ink? I mean, can you? I don't know. So that just darkened it up a little bit again, because like I said, that creaminess and then with the spritzer over top of it just kind of dulled the black a little bit. And I didn't want it to be like super shiny or anything like that, but I did want it to have kind of a starker contrast between the black and the colors. Now, this is my little trimmer guy, and I love this guy, even though he doesn't exactly line up. So does anybody else have this problem? I think I've asked this before, and I do believe that people have returned it and gotten a new one, but it's been so long since I bought this thing that I doubt very seriously that anybody's going to be replacing it. the up at the top, the corner kind of catches. And if I put the handle up too far, you can see I kind of have to move the handle off to the right-hand side and just shimmy it a little bit. So there is basically the front of the card. And then I also have this little stamp from Brutus Monroe. It says, "Congratulations on your new home." Now, if this card is actually not for a home, like a house home, this is actually for a new work home. So my former boss is moving stores, so she's getting a new work home. And on the inside of the card, I talk about congratulating her on her new work home. So I just took a little bit of the cutoff where I had the oxides, and I'm just making a little banner out of it. And it's not, you know, super perfect. It is definitely kind of a handmade banner, but that's okay. Like, I'm not looking for this card to look like it was professionally made, and that's a thing that I do with my cards. So I don't share a lot of card videos on YouTube because my cards are meant to look like they're handmade. Like, I want the recipient to know that I made this card for them. It is definitely not a perfect thing. So I have this kind of shimmery black cardstock, and I'm just matting this on here. And I decided to go originally with the shimmery cardstock because I just like the look of it. But had I pulled out just plain black cardstock, I would have changed that because of the creaminess of the decorative piece right here, because the stark black would have been too much for me, I think. So I am using this card base that is just hanging around, trying to get an idea for the size that I'm going to need on this card. And it takes me a minute, guys. Like, most of the time I use pre-made card bases. I know, like die-hard card makers are like, but most of the time I use pre-made card bases. And this time I didn't, because the pre-made card base I have is kind of thin, and this, since I used the Gina K cardstock, it's pretty thick. Like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's pretty thick. So I did not want my little base to wobble. And then, as you can see, when I use my bone folder, I kind of distress the edge of that card right there. And you know what? I'm going with it. And that's okay. So I'm using some purple tape to go ahead and mask that off. I'm just going to add some more purple here, just where you're going to be able to peek through behind that decorative panel. And then I also have this chicken wire rubber stamp, and again, this is from Darkroom Door, and again, their stamps just feel so nice. I'm not even going to use a stamping tool or even put it on a acrylic block. I'm just tapping it on and placing it on there. And I chose to do the pink because I felt like that had the best contrast against that purple. And there we go. Pull off that purple tape, super, super easy. And then I'm going to slap that card front down. But because I've got a whole bunch of Distress Oxide and stuff like that and glitter all over my work surface, I just pulled it to the side. Now I will clean that work surface, I will clean my stamp, and I will clean my MISTI, so you guys don't have to worry about that. I'm just not doing it for you guys on camera here. So this is almost going to wrap up the card. I just put a bunch of foam dots on the back of the "Congrats on your new home" banner, and I'm going to overlap it a little bit off the edge here. And then that's going to do it for the card, guys. Thanks you so much for watching this card video. Let me know in the comments below if it's something you wouldn't mind seeing anymore, or if it's not, let me know that too. And let's see what I can do with this. I screwed up my catchphrase.